Welcome to Feeling Seen.
My name is Clara.
My name is Annette.
And I'm Félicité.
Today, it is our first episode.
Woo! We're so excited to share this.
Yes, and we had a conversation with MJ Déziel, a hair artist, Montreal community builder,
Platform educator.
Overall, honestly, when I think of a cool person in Montreal, I think of MJ immediately. She's a people person. She's a social butterfly. I don't know anyone who doesn't love MJ, and she's done such cool things with her career. So it seemed just like intuitive to have her on the podcast and have a cool discussion with her about what she's done, what she still has yet to achieve. So yeah. I don't know how to start this episode.
I can start it. So, hello everyone. MJ, thank you so much for being here. This is so exciting. We're so excited to finally meet you and talk to you and have this super interesting conversation.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we know it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not going to be interesting, knowing you.
Okay, I'll try. Mon Dieu, challenge accepted.
Setting the bar high.
Oui, c'est ça. My God, okay.
So, MJ, would you want to introduce yourself to the people who might not know you?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is MJ. I'm the founder and creative director at Apart Studio right here. What else?
Thank you for having us in your space, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The studio
Yeah, such a
is
beautiful space.
Yeah.
Yes, so nice. We're
And
very
we're moving,
grateful.
so I'll invite you to the new space.
It's a
Can't wait to
tribute
see
to the
it.
5 years, going on 6 now, of
Yes.
Apart Studio.
Wow.
Wow.
Crazy.
Oh my God, come a long way.
Mm-hmm. Small town girl with a dream.
Where are you from?
South Shore represent.
South Shore!
Yes, the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
But I've been living in Montreal for, I don't know, I moved here, I was 18, so
Okay.
Okay.
I'm 33.
What made you move to Montreal?
I took my hair classes and just didn't want to go back to the South Shore.
So you've always wanted, so you started like your career doing hair? Like, was that your first job?
I was 19, so like I guess I started as a hairstylist.
Damn.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into hair?
Okay, so
That's
Do you hate that question?
no, not at all. It's because I never wanted to be a hairstylist in the first place. So like it kind of came not by surprise, but I studied graphic arts and photography in Cégep, and I was not doing so well in school. Unfortunately, I got diagnosed ADHD very late in the game. But anyways, I wouldn't have been a lawyer or doctor, even though I would have taken pills. But
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
MJ in an office, 9 to 5.
Doctor.
But honestly, I have good like emotional intelligence. I would have been a good
Yeah.
doctor. I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways.
For sure.
So, puis j'ai la minutie aussi. Anyways, surgeon maybe. And I dropped out because honestly, taking a pictures and explaining it into 60 pages was just not my thing.
That's a lot. I feel like sometimes it kills the creative process.
Yeah.
For real.
And when I was at Parsons, I felt like some people try to put meaning. You can tell that they did the work, and then after they tried to pop out
To
of a
stick the
meaning
meaning on
and
it.
make it seem like they're saving every world war with their piece of clothing, and it's like, bro, it's fine if it's just a t-shirt. Huh?
No, see, after that, I was like, what can I do? How can I work on set? And there was makeup, there was hair, and my mom used to work at L'Oreal. Back then, I was maybe 15, 16. And I used to go see her at the office downtown many times, and I just love how like glamorous it was, and like I don't know. And I met few of her friends in different departments. On the hair department, she was in the cosmetic departments, and they asked me if I wanted to do a hair show and be a hair model, and I did that. It was my first introduction to the hair world that I know now. And I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like, it's super rock star, you know, like it's people on stage talking about trends.
mic.
Like, it was, yeah, you have a Britney mic. It was so sick. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Since I can't play guitar and be a rock star, I'm going to hold a hairspray and be, you know, platform educator. So anyways, I went to take my classes, and I was like, it's a year of learning, and it's a trade. So I'll know how to do hair. I can do my friend's hair and go to university, étudiant libre. So I went to take my classes, and it was so different the way we learn, because there's a bit of theory but a lot of practice. So just the format of the teaching was really good for my ADHD, actually. Like, it was the first time I had good grades. I had a great relationship with my teachers, and it was very, I guess, it felt good.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time I actually was doing well in school, and I absolutely loved it. The social aspect of it. Never wanted to work in a salon. Just wanted to do, you know, like
editorial,
you know,
Okay.
and yeah, I'm on my 13th year of doing hair, and I absolutely love it.
That's beautiful. So you never stopped?
No, never.
Damn.
But I always had in mind to be a platform educator. So like, I was on the grind since like I'm 19.
You truly
drew
found
you?
your like passion.
Absolutely, and I feel so lucky because I have lots of friends who finish, you know, university, and they have their degree, and they like, first of all, it's super hard to get hired.
Yeah.
And and what now? Or they're like, I'm not sure I like it.
Yeah.
Like in theory they like it, but then in practice they're like, I'm not sure. So I feel pretty fucking blessed. Bleep. Blessed.
And what do you mean by platform educator?
So let's say you work for a brand, and you go to a trade show, and there are these people who are going to be on stage with models and talk about trends, coloration, cutting, styling. So it's how would you explain that? It's like,
it's kind of like big events.
yeah, it's
where
a hair show,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. So that's what you kind of,
You did that for a long time.
I did that for a long time. I
like, you were on the stage.
Mic'd up and shit,
Mic'd
cutting
up.
hair.
Wow.
Yeah,
Live in
that's-
front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the biggest show I did was at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. There was 10,000 people.
Whoa.
So my biggest class, I think it was in front of 5,000 people. It's crazy. I traveled to Brazil. I traveled to South Africa.
That's
I traveled to Sweden, Paris. I did a lot.
And what brands were you working for at that time?
At that time, I used to work with Redken. They really took me green when I was really young. I did like a hair contest. I was around that 19, and you go and then you have like 45 minutes to create a look, and
That's
then
so cool.
it's so funny. I don't think I would do that again because it's so fucking tacky, but because it's judged based on like very obviously it's technical, but like blends of color and stuff like that. It's not, I feel it's like, I don't know, I'm not gonna elaborate on that.
That's
but
fine.
like it's in a past life.
Yeah.
But it's very different, like hair in fashion and hair in the hair industry. It's like you can be a really technical stylist with no taste, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can be also a really good hairstylist, not having like so much technique, but like the result is just like the eye is so refined and like the vision, so it's just different. But anyway, so back then, you know, I did tacky shit. It's fine. It's part of my it's part of my journey.
Got you
Yeah.
here.
And
Exactly.
Which one
I
do you
was- I
like
used to-
more?
Uh-huh.
Which one do you like more?
Obviously more editorial session styling. It's still pretty new to me because you have to kind of let go of your technical side, and you have to kind of more see it how the hair behaves in a different way with the camera and stuff like that. It's so different. Like to do an undone look is so difficult. You know.
Yeah. I heard actually the hairstylist on the set of Euphoria talk about that, how she had to make Rue look like kind of disheveled and you know,
and it was harder than
she was like, you have no idea how hard it is to make a head of hair look
lived in.
back.
It's so interesting because I thought it would
right?
be easy to do, but now that I think about it, it's like
No, it's hard. So yeah, and going back to that contest when I was 19, my boss, I don't remember where I used to, because I would switch salon like that. Anyways, and I just wanted to be an international educator. I love the sharing knowledge. What I remember going to these events was like, I can sit, I'm so new to the industry, and like the way they explain, it was just like clicking for me, and like it would help me so much behind the chair, and I was like, oh my god, if I can do that, that's crazy, you know. So at first it was much more of an ego trip. I was like, this is so like this is so fun. And then as I got into the industry, I was like, this is so fun when you can teach someone something and it really does something for them. Like that was it for me. And then I was like, I want to do international, but if I want to do international, I need to do national, and if I want to do national, then I need to do regional, and if I want to do regional, maybe I can go work with someone who does that, and like, what can I do? So maybe now I can like have an interview in the salon, and then first step I can do is like have a call. So like it was easier for me to like, instead of having this big dream, like to do step by step, I was really on it.
Did you have like a mentor or someone that really helped you along the way in those early formative years?
So many formative figure in my journey. Like first of all, my mom, who dropped me to school like every fucking day, you know, when I was younger, at hair school. That in itself is big.
Of course.
Okay.
And your mom is incredible. Like,
Shout out Chantal.
shout out to her.
And then so many, like every of my bosses, even though like at the time I would think they were
Shout
a
out
pain
Apple.
in the yeah, exactly. But so many of them, like they saw something in me for sure. And one that has been very, very good in my career was Jody Taylor in London. He was a guy that I used to follow his career through social media. And we had like an internet relationship where I would send him like pictures of my photo shoots, and he would give me advice. And at some point I was like, I really want to meet. I want to take a class. And he wasn't really taking classes anymore, giving classes. And I was like, listen, I'm going to be in London from this time to this time. He's like, okay, just come to the salon and we'll do hair together. And since then, you know, like we've been very, very close. He got me into my first fashion weeks. Like he was really how can I say, like it was transformative for me to have this man in my life.
It's so beautiful how social media can bring people together and actually make you flourish. Like
and
absolutely.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, were you just like reaching out to these people on social media, or were they people that you met, for example, during hair shows, and then you maintained those relationships?
I think I was always really good at networking. So obviously,
you're a people person.
I'm a social butterfly, obviously, and I you know, like hair is fun. Like you can bond through hair. You know, like you go to these events and you have like people from all over the world, and you speak the same language. Like you love hair, so it's like really easy to bond on something. Also, I make things happen, you know. Like if I want to meet someone, even though it's like 5 hours flight away, like I'll make it happen, you know. And like I usually don't take no for an answer, depending what case. Consent is key. But like I'm driven, you know. And
real
so
though.
and but it's genuine, you know. Like if I want to meet and like I want to talk hair and stuff like that, like I usually will make things happen. And like in Jody's case, like it was so easy. It was like, just, you know, come and we'll jam hair, and it was really, really fun.
And how was your experience at Fashion Week? Can we talk about that?
I have
I'm
good
dying
and
to know.
bad experiences, and I'm so ready to spill
Yeah.
the tea. Oh my
That's what I
God.
told the girl. I was like, I think this is gonna be an interesting topic.
Yeah. Okay. So first time I worked at Fashion Week, maybe it was 3 years ago. I lost track of time, but it was for vêtements. And it was a really good experience at first. It was my first time backstage, so like
It's impressive.
it's pretty. Yeah. It's
That as your
super,
first
You're happy to
gig,
be
that's
there.
crazy.
first gig. It was interesting for me. Like the first time I got invited by Jody, I didn't want to take too much space. I wanted to learn how to manage a backstage. Like it's high pace, it's very tense. It's super intense, and so basically Jody was the lead stylist. We had a team of maybe 4 or 5. We had to do some cuts and coloration, and I was there a bit more to like manage the backstage. I didn't want to overstep. I wanted to create that relationship with Jody. So I was more like, I did a bit of hair, but I was more like managing the backstage, made sure that the models were on time, and like just the logistic behind it. And it started there. And then Jody invited me to other shows like Fred Perry. We came back for Vêtements next year. We did maybe 3 times with them. I had the opportunity to work alongside Pablo Quimin, who is an amazing wig maker. He's so talented. I wanted to develop more that. Like it was just very new to me from doing hairdressing and then going into hairstyling.
It must have been so insightful, like working
A
with
lot.
different types of hair models and in another environment, and people who
Especially in a fast-paced environment.
Yeah, under
like
pressure,
learning.
I can't imagine that.
Absolutely, and you have to know like where you stand, like because it's quite hierarchical also.
Like know your place.
Yeah, and there's so many people in a backstage that then it gets overwhelming.
Yeah, you have to be organized. You have to know your product so damn well. Like there's no time to fuck up,
Yeah.
But so when you were doing cuts and colors, like for a show, would the models come in like a couple days earlier and then you would do the color, or was it that like all 5 hours before
No,
the
so
show?
you have usually prep days prior. So you have maybe like 2 or 3 days prior. It's not all shows where you need to do color or cuts. In the Vêtements show, Graham is pretty particular about his model. So he likes to go extreme. And so we would do prep days before.
And how were the looks? Like, did you guys have, for example, okay, this model is wearing this outfit, and then you would create hair, like you would, how did you guys choose which model would have which hair? Was that like the designer that was telling you what you wanted, or
basically Jody would co-create the look with Graham. So like they would look at the outfit, and like Graham had a pretty specific vision for his model, so like he would talk about it with Jody would come back and like, this is what we're gonna do.
okay.
So it was always pretty much like a co-creation. And so the color and cuts would be done prior. And so on the day of, it's just styling. And it's like, boom, boom, boom.
Like 5 minutes, next model.
Yeah, it goes quick, Yeah.
So would you want to do that again?
What's the vibe?
It was the vibe. Well,
Because you said you
honestly,
loved like the fashion of it all,
Yeah.
and how hair complements fashion and all that, and you love the editorials. So I feel like maybe that kind of ties into.
But do you like the hardcore fashion industry?
So yeah, that's where I'm not sure where I stand. I have a very strong love for aesthetic, like design, creativity, like that side of the industry. I love creative minds, and I love to consume visually creativity. So like obviously I love that. I love creating a good image, you know, is just pleasing for my eyes. And I think it can go so deep, and there is a strong intelligence in art, you know, and like people can think it's superficial, fashion superficial, whatever, but like it goes deeper for me. So obviously I think there was a shift last year, obviously, when, you know, the genocide starting. Well, I'm gonna go into it, but like it started to be very irrelevant for me, like especially in who I was working with back then. And I was just like, there was this moment where something happened, and I was just like, fuck this shit, like you're being non-political, you're yelling at me, and like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, honestly. So I pack up my shit and I left. I left a hair show right before a show.
So a fashion show. Okay.
So so I was
you
in
walked
Paris.
out.
I walked out. So I was in Paris, and basically I've been working with this brand for the past 3 years. I'm not new to this brand. They celebrated my 30th birthday. They got me a cake, like gave me a t-shirt. Like I had a relationship with this brand, you know. And basically you can't take pictures backstage, right? It's because like leaking on social media and shit like that. So like I totally get that. The way we used to work with my lead stylist is that I would go with him downstairs. There would be the fitting, and I would take pictures, see how it fits, like the walking and stuff like that. And I remember vividly like having my phone and like filming, and even though I was not supposed to be, I don't know what I had in my mind, but I was like, this is not a big deal. Like, I think our relationship would like surpass that. But like in the moment, I was just like, I didn't think much of it, and I just took the video, and I was like, the big like shoulder pad, and I was like, it doesn't really give with like the hair. Anyways, and like right away, you know, I got flagged for using my phone. Like, although I totally understand, like the reaction towards this small act
was disproportionate.
So disproportionate. Like, he freaked out. The creative director freaked out, yelled, and I saw him yell at so many people, but I was just like, whatever, it's part of the game. And I was like, excuse me, like, what the fuck is going on? I deleted the video and like, chill, you know?
You've been there for 3 years.
You know, like, I'm not going to leak anything. So anyways, I went upstairs and I was like, fuck this shit, you know? Like,
but I think that's so impressive. In the moment to be like, I'm not going to stay there and like be treated this way. I think that's so impressive to be like, I'm walking
shaking.
out.
I was just like, first of all, it's super dysregulating, like to first of all being yelled at in front of people. It's like really fucked up. I understood right away where I was at fault, you know. And then I went upstairs, I started packing my stuff. My lead stylist came upstairs. He was like face like super pale, like he was not having it. He was like, I need to understand what happened. And I'm like, dude, like, here's what happened. I took the video, I was looking at this and this and that, like, I totally understand. I deleted the video. And he was like, dude, I cannot tell you what just happened, but like, he thinks you're spying on the company,
girl,
because you worked at Balenciaga. And for him it was a stab in the back because I worked with
his competitor.
That's where it's coming
from. His family. That's where it's coming from.
His beep.
Pictures. And I was like, this is insane. This is madness, you know? And like, I don't want to be part of that. I'm not going to take part in that. And so I was like, I'm going to pack my shit. I'm leaving. And the next day I was just like, and he didn't want me there. Obviously, he thought I was spying on the company.
Spying
and
is
so I can say now that like Vêtements thought I was spying on the behalf of Balenciaga. Like, what the fuck? like a little hairstylist from Montreal. Like
a full circle moment.
Take a seat, honestly.
Yeah.
And like the next day, you know, I texted my hairstylist, and I was like, dude, what the fuck is that, you know? And he was like, man, I don't know. And I was like, I'm gonna enjoy Paris. But honestly, it was really, I can't talk about it being like, I'm chill now, but like at that moment, first of all, I was just like, what the fuck is that? Especially also like in the grand scheme of things, like you're showcasing, like you're never gonna be your brother, first of all. And like during a genocide.
Yeah, because that was January, right?
Yeah,
of last year.
And I was just like, this is not worth it, you know? And like, and I started like taking a step back, and I was like, what are we doing this for? Like, who is it benefiting? Like, it was just like, it was just a lot. So like I took a step back, but I do miss the creativity behind it. Like, I would love to probably go back, but I feel that first of all, I need to be a bit more, like, don't use your phone backstage when it says do not use your phone. Like, lesson learned. You
Focus.
know? honestly, like I'll
you take that lesson and you learn.
You know. But yeah, I would love to go back. But at this point, like, I'm still like, there's a blurred line with me and fashion right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to know, like, staying on the fashion topic, have you, because you have a very good fashion sense, and your style is very bold, very cool, and I just wonder if you've always been this bold, and if style and fashion has always
No.
Oh there's an iconic picture of
and
you.
was there, like,
I want to see like photos of you younger.
Yeah, you can show it.
I feel like I might have it in my phone.
oh my god,
honestly.
perfect. Insert picture here.
I need to see on the
But
Was there a shift, like,
yeah,
at a certain
absolutely.
point in time? There was like,
yeah, well, it's super tied with my identity, for real. I remember vividly, you know, like, being able to choose my own clothing. My mom used to bring me to Clément, and like, okay.
Clément was
like,
the shit.
when you were going to Clément, there was the boys section, the girls section, and I used to always go in the boys section. So I dressed like a little boy all my life. I remember asking my mom for this specific, like, DC shoes that I wanted, you know, and they were like very expensive, but I wanted
the big
them.
boys, right?
Oh yeah. Fat, like
skate
shoes, you
shoes,
know?
yeah.
And so I guess I used to love to dress, but then the male gaze kicked in, you know, and like, where now the girls are talking about boys, and like, boys were my friends, and I like didn't really want to date them at the time, and like, but I used to have many boyfriends for some reason, I don't know. Y'all a bit gay, to be honest, but still. And then I remember like trying to shift a bit my identity and dress a bit more feminine. And like,
It didn't work.
It did not work. And like, I have pictures, and I look so fucking sad with this long ass like maxi genre skirt, and like I tried so hard, and it just didn't land. And so I went back to my styling. I was a skater girl, so like I used to dress very baggy all my life still, but I just didn't know how to
navigate it.
Interpret that kind of.
I just didn't know how to dress, so I just used to put what felt comfortable, but there was no cohesion.
Okay.
You know,
Cohesion,
like
yeah.
Didn't know my proportion, whatever.
But you still had an eye for aesthetic, I'm guessing. Like, was that always natural, or you think it kind of?
I don't think I was a fashion girly when I was
Well, not
young.
even
like,
just fashion, but like you said you studied like graphic design and so you
Okay,
must
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
been
yeah.
like.
I was interested, definitely, but it was not
execution.
The execution wasn't there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it kicked in later, where I started to probably hang out with people that were knowledgeable in fashion and stuff like that. So like, I didn't know about designer work when I was in high school and shit like that, you know.
Yeah. Do you think like you became really in tune with your style when you became in tune also with your queerness?
Probably, honestly. Yeah, I think there was a moment I stopped giving a fuck, and I think that is when I started to wear
the cohesion kicked in.
Yeah,
but
probably.
But it's cool that your mom, for example, was supportive of you, you know, wanting to go in the little boys section
when exploring everything.
She was so chill for that. Honestly, I wanted a truck. She would give me buy me a truck. I
That's
wanted the Barbie. She would she was chill for that.
Wow.
She never questioned anything. You know, I came out and she's like, yeah, I know. I was like, okay, perfect. You know,
just
I had
like
it really
that.
easy.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's how it should be, honestly. I had it really easy.
And when like what was your coming out experience? Like when did you know you were gay, MG?
Thinking about it, I think I was all my life, you know. I had crushes on, you know, my babysitters or like my best friend, big sister, and like it all makes sense now. I just didn't think it was that at the time because I had boyfriends and I loved them, you know, like I fell in love with my first boyfriend and like but when I kissed a girl for the first time, I was like, oh, I've never felt that, you know. And so I was like, oh, maybe I am, and then later on I was like, definitely I am. You know,
that's what this was this whole time.
But it's so funny looking back. I was like, obviously, you know, like I wanted to be friends with the pretty girls, you know, like the one I found attractive and like, but I never questioned it back then. It was just not a thing, you know.
Yeah, I think since it's like we're so told that you have to like boys, it's like when you have crushes on women when you're young, so like even for me, like, and being bisexual, like I feel like I just always I was questioning it, but I was like, oh, do I just think this girl is like really cool and I like kind of want to be them, or am I like and it took me a really long time to realize that like those obsessions I had with some girls weren't it was just a fat crush, you know.
Absolutely. And I was always, you know, into very feminine guy or like attuned with their femininity, like emotionally. So I've been with guys that were soft and tender, you know. Shout out to Vincent.
First boyfriend?
First boyfriend broke my heart, this motherfucker.
No.
Damn.
Oh yeah, he did.
I remember that story.
Oh my god.
I want to know.
But an amazing guy.
And do you think coming to Montreal kind of like allowed you to tap more into your queerness, or was it like already old news? Rive Sud, ça marche.
I guess obviously Montreal like was a fresh start. It's a process, honestly. Like I remember going to Baudry Station, or I wanted to hang out in the gay village, and I would go out at Berry Station because I didn't want to be seen at Baudry. Like that's like homophobia, internalized homophobia right there.
You were hiding it.
Yeah, I came out. I was like 16. I went to prom with my girlfriend, but I went with my gay best friend. Oh my god, Louis is not gay. My guy best friend and my girlfriend, who was my best friend at the time. You know, that's how I would talk about her. And I came out to my friends at my prom, and I was like, this is my girlfriend. You know, I came out to prom, but it was I wasn't super comfortable right away. It took like I had a hard time holding my girlfriend's hand in the street. Like it's a shift of paradigm, like because you're not in the norm anymore. You're not in the hetero normativité anymore, and so like it's an acceptance.
It's a process.
You know, it's a process, and like it took me maybe like a good 2-3 years until, you know, I found my circle. I wanted to hang out with gay people, and once you're in that crowd, like it's really hard to go back to the heteronormativity world. It's like, honestly, it's such a gray world for me. And like I love the rainbows and butterflies, you know, like I don't want to go back there. It's hell.
You shouldn't. But do you think that, you know, your search for your, I guess, sexual identity ties into your implication with your community? Because I know that Apart does a lot of community work for the queer community. You host a lot of,
like,
you know,
fundraisers, Pride fundraisers. You have Juke.
I guess my type of activism is probably very self-centered in the sense that, like, no, but truly, it's like I wanted to feel good in a space. I opened my space. I didn't want to play in the men's soccer league. I wanted a queer league. I started it. Like, I'm driven. I'm a doer. Like, I want to make shit happen. And par la bande, it does great around. I salute people that like are radical and are upfront and stuff like that. I don't think that that's me. I think that the type of stuff that I do is like helping me and does help.
You gather a lot of people. I think your activism goes in that sense where you like create communities of people that.
I guess like it's an everyday thing. Like, it's just I'm embodying that queerness, and like it's radiating around. And the fundraising, obviously, it's like it's normal, you know, to do that. And like I remember doing that fundraising for Interling, who is it's a nonprofit. Their funds are being cut by government. Like we want this nonprofit to survive. We're gonna do a fundraising. Like it's there's no.
But I remember like because I went to that event, and I remember like stepping into Café Osmo where it was held, and you could just feel that it was. Like the environment was so inviting, and that people were just there to like
the camaraderie.
It really, and I didn't know, like I barely knew anyone. I had gotten my hair cut here once, but I was so drawn to Apart and what it represented, and just like I don't know, I just like looked up to what you had created, and I ended up obviously working here after, like
so
a year after that. I ended up working for you guys, and it always felt to me like it was clear that Apart was just a space that was for everyone that wanted to join, you know.
I'm happy that's what you feel. I think it's something that happened very naturally. It's never been, you know, in a business plan or like there's never been a strategy, like marketing strategy behind it. I think it's just truly what we do.
It's purely authentic,
you know,
and who you are at the same time.
And that's why I said self-centered. I don't think it's the right word.
Not self-centered,
like, but it's more
it's
like
genuine because
because you're totally the reflection of Apart, you know, like you can tell that this is you.
It's my space. It's my space. And it comes with you know, like the ups and downs and the human aspect of it, and like we're always there to learn and do better, and like.
And why did you start Apart? What was the goal with it? What was the vision?
Well, I got kicked out from my last salon, so I needed to find a new space, and I was lucky enough to travel and see what's out there and how it's being done. I remember being in Japan, and I went in a salon on a 17th floor, and I thought it was so cool, and I was like, oh, like this is so non-traditional. Like, how do they do to get clients, you know? And I came back to Montreal, and I was looking for a salon that I would want to work in, but it was a bit difficult, my situation, because I used to teach a lot, so like I wasn't really
gone for a while.
and so it was hard for a salon to hire me. And anyways, there was just not a space that I truly wanted to work in, and I started looking at some spaces, and I found this one, and I was like,
And you created your own.
I was like, I did a presentation to the landlord. I was like, I want this space. Here's what I'm gonna do. I had the keys in April 2019. I had no fucking budget. This is a redesign of the space. Like I took, it was all secondhand. I took some grid from American Apparel. I put some IKEA mirrors and like, you know, this was it. And I called my friends. I was like, I'm opening a space. Do you want to come work with me? Like no business plan whatsoever. And so a part really created itself, like the soul and like the essence of this space. Like it wasn't planned. It just happened. Now 50 years later 5 years later, you know, like yes, it's more
the business is structured,
you know, it's structured, and thanks to my business partner who's my ex-girlfriend, shout out.
Can we talk about that as well?
Truly she's why a part exists, you know, because like a vision is fun, but the execution is what makes it, you know, sustainable. And so now it's structured. Now it's like a real business. Now it's sustainable. Now we have career path for our team, and like it's more running as a business, but like still the foundation was just like it was our values, you know.
And how did it come about for you to get into business with Kelly, your ex-girlfriend? Were you guys
I love her so
dating
much.
at the time?
We were dating at the time. We were dating for 3 years, and you know, she was part of every step of the studio. You know, like she just
joined the project.
Yeah, she joined the project, and she graduated.
Business? HEC?
Oui, HEC, it's administration des affaires. Yeah. And so,
like you,
for vrai, it's perfect. Honestly, just find yourself a hairstylist, you'll be good. And so, she graduated. She had an internship at Hydro-Québec. She would cry every day coming back from this internship. She hated it so much, and it would break my heart, you know. And I was like, you put so much effort. You graduated. You're so smart. I can't believe like this is gonna be your life, you know. And I was struggling in structuring the business, you know, like I had no business basically, you know. I had a really cute project, and I was like, would you be interested in joining me? And she was like, yes, I want to quit, you know, this Hydro-Québec thing. And she came working with me, and it was during the pandemic, and so we used to run on PCU for a while. So like we didn't really excuse-moi, mon sel sonne en même temps, mais care about like the money. And at some point we broke up, and we had a very deep talk about like, what do we want to do? And she was like, I love working here. I want to still like be here. And I was like, it's equally your business, you know. And so we did a lot of mediation. We had someone, we did consulting, like
couples therapy,
business partners therapy. Yeah. And so we needed to, you know, like develop our communication and stuff like that. And we did tremendous work, you know. And it's the person I trust the most. And like, to me, trust is probably the second biggest or important feeling after love, you know, because you can be in love and not trust. You know, and that's not sustainable. And like Kelly and I really, you know, developed this strong bond, and we're amazing business partners, very complementary. Crazy, you know.
Because MJ, you're kind of the creative brain, like the creative powerhouse of Apart. You have the vision. You're like, okay, we're doing this, and then Kelly's like, yeah, but how are we gonna do that?
Yeah. And so we always say like, Kelly is like, I'm a balloon and Kelly's like holding me, like, you know.
I love that.
Yeah, she's keeping me grounded. She's the Taurus to my Gemini, you know. And yeah, we have very different key roles in the business. So I get to be creative, and she gets to really execute the vision. And yeah, so 5 years.
It's amazing that you guys were able to build that together and make that really like transform that relationship throughout the years.
It evolved, yeah.
But it's also so beautiful that you cherish that relationship so much that you went into counseling to make your dream actually come true. And
it is true love. Like we didn't broke up because we didn't love each other. We just didn't want the same thing. So like I think the respect and the love was always there. It's still,
and it shows that you guys stayed friends and like kept working together.
Yeah, she's a life partner. Really, you know, when you do have a business, you're locked in. You know, and so I consider myself polyamorous. Yeah. No, but
well,
shout out.
You do consider yourself polyamorous. I am. Yeah. Yeah, we were wondering about that.
Yeah, about that topic.
Really?
Yeah.
It's in there.
It's in there.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
You are a polyamorous person.
What does it mean to you and the way you view and approach your relationships?
Wow. Well, I'm gonna debunk something real quick. Polyamory for me, it's really not about necessarily having multiple relationships. It's the ability to love more than one person, which happened to me so many times. Now there's 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. Like I don't have time to have multiple partners. I have a family. Like I have my business. I have my team. I have friends. Like I don't know where I can fit another relationship. But to me, polyamory, I think, really showed me how love can be consumed and how not possessive it is, and it's really about loving someone for who they are. It doesn't have to check all the boxes, and I think it just showed me a way of experiencing love in a very healthy manner. You know, I've been in very hardcore relationship. I have my fair share of blame, you know, but polyamory to me is, I guess, something I adhere. How do you say? Like
it's kind of an ideology.
Yeah, it's the ideology. Yeah. You know, like that I love. I used to be on forums about polyamory and the way people talk. The way it
deconstructs a lot way like you see relationships,
and it's the work that it requires to do on yourself. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like you have to know yourself. Like it's about trust again, like communication, transparency, respect, all the values that I value. But I wasn't there. You know, like I was a people pleaser. I couldn't set boundaries. If someone would set a boundary with me, I would like feel rejected. I didn't know how to talk. I would try to manage, you know, the emotion of the other person. So I would repress myself, not saying what I want to say, and then I would build resentment. Like it's just this circle of toxicity that not to say that polyamory doesn't have, but it requires. It's a life of triggers, so you really have to fucking own your stuff and like dig and like heal. And so I think that's what is enticing and beautiful.
I remember when we talked about polyamory once, you told me, you were like, Philly, it's like you're never not gonna be jealous, you know, like being jealous in relationships is a part of any relationship. Learning to maneuver that yourself and like maneuver your own reactions is such a beautiful process.
So. It's false to say that you're never gonna be jealous. What the fuck? Those who are gonna say no, like I just experienced compersion. Like I'm like, okay, I'm not there.
Sure,
I'm not there.
My
you know?
jealousy.
But yeah, it's the level of knowing yourself. I think it's so interesting, and like I wish I want to be there. Like I'm there. I'm like
you're getting there. It's a process as well.
It's a journey.
Because in practice it's pretty difficult because like the emotions are real. It's easy to rationalize, but when you're in it and the emotions are high and you're triggered, like I don't care the amount of work that you did. When you're triggered, you're triggered. So
But then it's like, what do you do with that trigger?
Exactly.
How do you express it?
Yeah. And that's where the real work comes in, and yeah, I think it's beautiful.
And what's the difference between like polyamory and just being in an open relationship? Is it the ideology in itself, like how you approach relationships, or it's...
I don't know if I'm like the best to answer that, because like there's also like a lot of academic research on that topic. I guess to me the difference is probably like the level of intimacy, probably. Like open relationships, sometimes I feel that it's disregarding feelings, and like it's like don't ask, don't tell, and stuff like that. It's but then again,
maybe not. It's c'est propre à chaque couple.
Exactly. So but I wouldn't know how to answer that, honestly, because like swinging and like there's many things that fall under the non-traditional or monogamous
banner.
Oui, c'est ça. Mais je sais pas. There's better explanation online.
It's such a huge spectrum that there's like these nooks and crannies that you can.
Yeah.
It is. And like I'm so interested in like human behaviors and like learn and unlearn, and like as soon as you step out this heteronormativity, it's like that then you can question everything. Yeah. Really. Why gender? Why like sexual orientation? Why, you know, like it is all social construct. Yeah. And so it's really interesting to me to unlearn these things, and then maybe like swing back and say, okay, I want kids. I want like sometimes like you go super, super far on the other end of the spectrum, and then you go back and you're like, oh, I'm gonna take this off the list, and then I don't know. So like I like to learn and unlearn.
Yeah. I remember being I had my second year at university, I had a sociology of human sexuality class, and we had a whole class on non-monogamy, and I remember the professor being in the front of the class and literally just looking at all of us and being like, you guys have a bunch of friends. Do you love one friend more than the other? Do you want to pick? And it's like it's when you go back to that and you apply it to your romantic relationship, it's like I think it acknowledges the fact that it's normal sometimes to feel or like want intimacy with more than one person in a way that's not treason, it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world, it's just like human experience. And I thought that was like such a good simple way to put it. And to like ask yourself those questions. And for me, it raised a lot of questions about like, oh yeah, like it's true. Is it really feasible to think that I'm going to be with someone for 40 years and never look at someone in a certain way? Or and what do you do when those feelings arise? Like, how do you communicate that to your partner? And it's really interesting questions to ask yourself, I think.
And it goes so deep, you know, like when you really look into it, like when you think about monogamy, you link it with capitalism, it you know, like being too celebrating, you know, like what we think of like romance, it's a construct. Like people are made to live in community, and like we've been stripped out of from these values, and like it's just like one-on-one in this perfect little family, and like making more money and like being more, it's like there's a whole story behind it, and like it makes me spiral for real, but like it's everything is tout est dans tout, tout est dans tout, tout est relié à tout. But honestly, look it up, like it's really, really interesting.
It's fun to debunk the whole social
just like ask yourself questions, you know. You don't have to read a book on polyamory and be like, okay, I'm done with monogamy, you know. But it can make you approach monogamy in a different way.
So, and like obviously, like I'm not actively practicing polyamory, but my God, we bring so much of the tools in our relationship, you know.
Because you have a girlfriend.
Yes, the soon to be my wife.
Ooh. Congrats.
Oh my God,
an American.
congrats.
Yeah, we're doing it for the visa.
And she
obviously.
told me that this week. I was like, yeah, your wife.
Wait,
and then
what?
she was like, no,
That's
I'm
so
serious.
Yeah, we're getting married.
Congrats.
Oh my
Yeah,
Yeah, this is not a drill, y'all.
yeah. No.
MJ Déziel is getting married.
She made an honest
She's
man
taking
out of me.
Cheers to her.
So, how did you guys meet? I want the story.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, back to hair. My girlfriend Indigo is a hairstylist from the States, and we met through social media. She found a video on her For You page on TikTok. Shout out to
Feli.
Shout out to Feli.
Because I used to do the social media for Apart Studio, so I was pumping videos of MJ on the internet.
And we started
Getting so many people thirsting in the comments out there and being like, that's the hottest person I've ever seen. I was like, I know. Okay, so back to your girlfriend.
way back to my girlfriend.
How'd you guys meet?
Okay, online. We met online through social media. She's a hairstylist from the States. She does amazing work. Everything that I don't do. Long blonde hair.
Extensions.
And yeah, honestly, this is so funny because we went back to the first thing that we said to each other, and like it was on since the beginning, you know. Like I think I posted something to work at a party, and she was like, "Where do I apply?" And I was, you know, like, and
She
I
wanted
so
to
she-
come here.
you know, and I think like in the first like 2 sentences, like there was a wedding ring, you know, like, and we're
so
laughing
cute.
about it, but like, we met online, and then we were like, where do you live? I don't know. And I was like, how can I, you know, when I say I make shit happen, and we met in a hair convention. In California, and we, you know, wanted to see each other again, and like it was so smooth, no games, you know, like it was such a natural progression, and like at some point, you know, early discussion, like where do we see each other, like it's you know, we have flights, we have to take off work, like it's there was a lot of resources going into that relationship, and we're like, are we pursuing this, or like are we like putting an end to this? And we're like, no, I think we want to pursue this. So we did the back and forth, Montreal, Arizona for a couple of time, made it official, and she moved to New York, and at some point she was like, well, everything goes to shit in the States, and she's like, I don't want to be there, I want to be in Canada, and then she's here.
And how do you think that doing long distance, like, was it healthy for you? Because I remember when you started dating her, I remember you telling me that it felt like different from your past relationships with of having that distance. And
well, honestly, your life don't get like untangled, tangled like right away. So like I used to be in a very codependent relationship where like our life become one's like right away. And so
there was like more space, more
so
time
much space.
to,
Oh my god, like
to explore each other.
All we had was communication. We have FaceTime, so like you don't get to do activities. All you can do is like learn about each other, you know. And it's like, so the discussion, you know, about values, like all the big stuff, you know, like having kids and shit like that.
you're not just infatuated with one another
exactly,
because
you
she's in
spent
front of
a
you.
week
Right.
together.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like it feels like what felt different, and I remember talking about it with you. I was like, I never knew I could do long distance relationship. I'm such a codependent like person, and I was like, I feel super secure with this person, and like despite the distance, and I'm like, that's what made me want to pursue this relationship. I was like, there's no games, like she's super reliable. I know that like even though like she's not physically there, she's there, and like vice versa, you know. And that truly felt different. Like sometimes I felt the distance in my relationship in Montreal,
even when they were there.
Yeah,
And
sometimes you're with a person and you feel
They're
so
not there.
disconnected to them.
And so just that felt different, and like the fact that all we had was communication, you know. And so we really, I think, built the right foundation from the start.
Kind of pacing yourself a bit.
I mean, the distance does that, you know. And yeah, it felt like equal, like where we put the same amount of resources, you know, like I don't know, since the beginning it was
That's
very
always
like,
a good
very
feeling
smooth,
to have. Like, I hate when you feel like you're giving more than the other person is
very
giving
reciprocal.
to you. It's like really like.
And we wanted the same things. We were really aligned with our we had a shared vision for our life, you know. And sometimes like I would get really fast into a relationship without asking the right question, and then it hits a bit later, you know, like 6 months in, and you're like, oh, we're not that compatible, you know.
And do you think it helps that you're dating someone that's in the same line of work than you are?
I've never dated a hairstylist, so honestly, like it's new to me, but it's such an intense work, to be honest, that like I'm happy that we're doing the same trade, because like we understand each other so well, you know. When we come home and we just don't want to talk because we're like
you talk the whole day,
you know, and we're just like going nonverbal with each other, and we're like, don't touch me, I'm full of hair, and like we just need our space. Like, it's so good.
I'm curious to know what you still want to achieve in your career, because you have this booming business. You're a boss lady, you know, you're in a relationship.
Lady.
Boss, so many years in front of you.
No, sister, you're super young, you're super successful. I'm just curious to know, you know, what do you want to achieve?
Next?
Maybe what you haven't achieved yet that is still on your mind.
Honestly, it's such a good question. Like, I used to answer this question in a very different way. I used to have so many things planned, and like I never lived in the present. What's next? I want to do international. I'm gonna do international. I want to open a studio. I'll open a studio. And like now, I think I'm chasing more stability and sustainability. You know, the 30s have done that to me, where I want stability and sustainability. I think now we're having a really great pace with Apart. But obviously, so many big projects. We're thinking of moving the space, repositioning a bit, the refining, you know, like the fine-tuning the business. But other than that, you know, like it's going to be a slow progression. We really want to lay down the right foundation for the studio. In my biggest dream, like vision, I would love to open in New York. My girlfriend's from the States, so obviously we want to do both. But for that, we need to lay down the foundation. So that's where we at. And everything is like moving forward very, you know, like slowly but surely. We're gonna sign the lease pretty soon, so that's the project that are happening. But I don't want to project too far because I'm not enjoying the process otherwise. So like small steps, but sustainability and stability is the main words.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
we're so happy.
It feels
for you.
good.
Can't wait to see. I'm gonna come
in the new space.
I'll
invite you guys in the new
We'll
space.
do a part 2?
Yeah.
Update.
Yeah.
MG updated. Perfect. Well, I think that's it for us.
Yeah, this has been so much fun.
It's been
Thank
so
you for
fun.
coming on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you so much. Honestly, I can't wait to see this come to life on social media.
Yes.
I can't wait to listen to the other podcasts. You guys are so great.
Oh,
Thank
thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Love ya. Hey.